You're listening to the Wealth Mindset Show, where Hixon and Zuercher Capital Management's team of finance professionals, portfolio managers, and a life coach come together to tackle complex topics in finance and retirement planning so you don't have to. From investment strategies and wealth management to tax planning, retirement income, and aligning your money with your values and purpose, the Wealth Mindset Show offers the tools to thrive.
All right. Hey. Welcome to the Wealth Mindset Show, where our Hixon and Zuercher team will have conversations on managing wealth and navigating retirement and making smart decisions for a secure, meaningful future. I am not Austin Wilson.
You are not.
I am Tony Hixon, CEO of Hixon and Zuercher Capital Management and co-founder of the Refocus Coaching Academy alongside Scott and author of Retirement Stepping Stones.
And I am not Austin Wilson either. I am Scott Miller, certified professional retirement coach here at Hixon and Zuercher Capital Management. And we actually have a bonus episode today called Halftime Huddles. This is where Tony and I get an opportunity to just really address some of the challenges that come in retirement. We're just looking at just different topics within the realm of retirement. And halftime huddles is similar to the concept of that, is really similar to a football game. So if all of you are kind of wondering what this is all about, if you think about a football game, there is a first half and there's a second half. Mm-hmm. And in between those two halves is what's called halftime. And halftime is a period of time where the teams go into the locker room, they strategize about the past, they look at what has happened, and then based on that, they start making some adjustments.
That's right.
They strategize about how to win the game, how to play a well second half of the game and to win. And so that's what we're asking people to do here as they enter in retirement or as they're in retirement, is to simply take a halftime. Yeah. To just stop for a moment, think about how they can maybe make some changes in their lives to live a better second half of life and to win the game.
Perfect, yeah. And so for a deeper backstory of why halftime huddles is such an important topic for us, in the show notes, we'll link the first episode of this little bonus content that we're bringing to you today. But ultimately, this is really about the non-financial side of retirement, something that a lot of people, we just idealize what retirement can be.
Right.
And we Americanize it, and the commercials are all pretty on beaches and golfing, but
all the fun, pleasurable things to do.
But ultimately that can be part of it, but it can also be very disrupting. And so we're here to expose the difficulties associated with retirement by turning stumbling blocks into stepping stones. We're so glad you're here. And so today's topic, Scott, we're going to talk about how to navigate an unexpected retirement.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. A lot of times you put a lot of planning into your expected retirement. You can plan for years financially about what's next. You may even move, or you may get settle closer to grandkids or whatever it might be. But these unexpected retirements could be really unsettling. So what are some examples of some unexpected retirements?
Yeah, I think some of the examples, and again, I think this is a much larger number than what a lot of people think it is.
True.
A lot of people think that this is a well planned out, they have maybe a year or two to think about this. That's not always the case. And I think in some cases we have situations where either people have been let go, or maybe their job has been eliminated, the company's making some changes, and so now their job is not needed anymore. Or again, maybe just based on performance or whatever, they're just simply are let go. I think the other thing that I've seen in being a retirement life coach is just burnout too. A lot of people get to this kind of stage of life and they just get burned out in what they're doing.
Right.
And then all at once they just retire because
their performance drops. And
they
may be let go.
Their performance drops. They don't have that passion that they once go. Maybe they were let go. Or in a lot of cases too, they just fall into a deep depression. They're dealing with some maybe medical issues, and so then they're kind of forced into retirement, and it's just unexpected. So I think we see some of that. I think the other one, and again, this is an episode that we just did here just a little bit ago. It might be caring for others. So we talked about the sandwich generation, where a lot of times when you get into your 50s and 60s, you're taking care of people who are either older than you, or you're taking care of people that are younger you. So sometimes an unexpected retirement can be because of that. It can be
you're caring for an aging parent.
Yeah, exactly. You're caring for others around you. So those are some of the examples that kind of come to mind of why people have unexpected retirements.
Yeah. So, well, this is our 23rd year in business, so we have plenty of examples of where this has happened to our clients, and as if retirement isn't just disrupting enough.
Yes,
an unexpected retirement can be even worse, and it's just a very jarring time frame in your life where you just start to question your value, if you're worth it. Why did this happen?
Right.
You can really start to blame others and just be below the line quite a bit. But I think it's important just to remember that it's out of your control. It's not a reflection of yourself. And if you can change your mindset, accept it as a gift.
Yeah.
And that gets you on the path that you were meant to travel on.
Yeah, I just want to, that feeling of being out of control, I think is really common. I see a lot of people that went in an unexpected retirement, they just get stuck in life. And it just seems like now what was structured, their identity maybe was tied into this career that they had done for such a long time. And now it's just chaos. Oh, what am I going to do? Like, it just seems a little bit out of control. So I think that's a really good way to kind of describe it. It's like hitting a wall almost, and people just get really stuck.
Yeah.
So
I love that word you use, chaos. Yeah. And ultimately, I heard a speaker once say that chaos is the raw material for purpose.
Yeah, really excellent.
So it's being able to, if you can get the right mindset going, it's realizing that this is such a great opportunity for you to really blaze a trail forward.
Yes.
So sometimes, as we've had this happen to clients, maybe they weren't even quite financially ready. Right. And they need a couple more years of just financial footing to get their retirement back on track. And so they're seeking other employment, and then more to the point that we're discussing today is they are financially ready, but they weren't mentally ready.
Right.
They just weren't ready to all of a sudden be, quote, bored or don't know how to spend their time. So what are some of those challenges of an unplanned retirement?
Well, I think first of all, people underestimate how much of a transition. We've used that word a lot, actually, transition. And I think life is full of transitions, but retirement is a major life disruptor.
Yeah.
It is an event that comes into our lives and it disrupts the normal flow of life, right? Yeah. And people underestimate it. People are looking forward to, a lot of times with retirement, our culture spins it in a very positive way. And again, don't get me wrong. I think it can be just one of the most exciting, fulfilling times of our lives, the second half of life. But people just simply aren't ready for how much of a disruption it is.
Yeah.
They don't make the transition well. And so then all at once, boom, they're in retirement. They're up against this wall. They feel stuck and they're tied into the past so much. Like, oh my goodness, from a financial standpoint, what am I going to do? But even if they're financially well off, it's still this idea of what am I going to do with my time?
They're lost.
Yeah, they're just lost.
Mm-hmm.
And the structure is different. My relationships have changed.
The
paycheck is gone. And so that freedom sometimes that we have of spending money and going out to restaurants and doing some of the pleasurable things of life, now you're kind of questioning those. And so it is a challenge. And again, in all of those different ways, a lot of times people just can't see the future. They can't look forward to what's coming and what's next. And so they're just in this kind of lull almost where they're just up against a wall. So.
No doubt, yeah. And what I've found is when this has occurred in one of our clients' lives, what they really don't need me to say is all the hopeful things.
Right. Right. Yeah.
What they need me to say is, I'm sorry.
Just come alongside them and just be empathetic and compassionate.
This isn't great. I'm so sorry this happened. How can we walk alongside you through this?
Yes.
And just show empathy and care.
Yes.
And just allow
start.
that loss that they feel to just sit with them in that and empathize alongside them. And then over time, you continue to have that relationship and check in on them. And, as time goes on, the wound starts to heal a little bit, and they start to understand that, I need to take action. I need to get going, got to get moving forward. And then that's the time to start really talking to them about what can be next for them.
Have you ever thought about how your financial choices reflect what truly matters to you? At Hixon and Zuercher Capital Management, we believe that integrating your values and dreams with your financial future is key to achieving peace of mind and confidence. When you engage in deep conversations with us, you'll start to see how your money can support the things that matter the most in your life. Our holistic approach means that your financial plan is more than just numbers. It's a personalized blueprint that evolves with you. You'll have a dedicated team of professionals tailored to your unique needs, all focused on crafting an investment portfolio designed to help you achieve your specific goals. Plus, our on-staff retirement life coach offers guidance to empower you toward a fulfilling retirement that goes beyond just financial security. Ready to transform your relationship with money? Join us at hzcapital.com and let's embark on this journey together. Now, back to the show.
So when we get to that stage, there are pros to an unplanned retirement. So what are some of the things that you've walked clients through when they finally get to the stage where they're ready to discuss what's next?
Yeah. Well, one of the things is we try to look at some of the realities of retirement. And we look at these stages of life. We want to just help them to kind of build some momentum and build some excitement for the future. Because really, when they hit the wall, they can either spiral upward or they can spiral downward.
That's true. Yeah.
And a lot of people turn to a lot of different types of addictions and just really behaviors that are not going to lead to a good life.
And those addictions might be as simple as screen time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or really kind of going backwards and trying to regain the glory days of, going back to their adolescent days, or, buying a new car or buying something, this or that they think is going to actually lead them to happiness. Mm-hmm. So first of all, we was just kind of helping them to realize the reality of retirement and then where they're at right now, and just trying to assess their current, what we call a lot of times their current location and where they're at presently. And then just really to try to build that excitement. We want them to spiral upward. We want them to just really build this, hey, that there's so many opportunities out there in front of you. So, and again, I'm just talking in very gentle terms right now, but just really helping them to see that there can be a better life ahead of them.
Yeah, and the only way they can really have that better life is if they choose to let go of the past.
Yeah,
right. It happened.
That's a big part of it.
It happened. It's outside their control. They can't do anything about it. To continue to be a victim and to wish things were different, that's not helpful.
Yeah.
And so really encourage these, if that's happened to them, to let go of the past. And then ultimately, the title of our show, Halftime Huddles, it's to take a halftime.
Yeah, it is.
Take a halftime. So what are some of the things that they can do during that halftime?
Yeah. So one of the things that we started, and I mentioned this maybe in an earlier show, we have 4 different pillars in our workshop. And the one that we start with first, which I think is the most important, is starting with the who before the do. Okay. And it's really, we call it discovering your uniqueness. Mm-hmm. And it's really answering the question of who am I?
Okay.
So often, their identity is tied into the past.
Sure.
And everything is related to that past part. We've talked about this a number of times already. Letting go of that past is really discovering who they are today. Mm-hmm. What are my values? What's most important to me? What are my skills? A lot of people just don't realize, they've developed these talents and abilities and skills over these 20, 30, 40 years of their career. And now it's how can we capitalize on those? How can we just realize what those are? And a lot of times that's what leads them to that next thing. Yeah. So that's the first pillar. So important that they do that, because many people just want to get to pillar number 2, which is all about the doing part.
Yeah.
Where am I going in life? Mm-hmm. We call that reorient and repurpose.
Okay.
And it's really thinking about, okay, this is what I did, in the past. Now I'm just going to reorient. I'm going to refocus in a new and different direction. That's what refocus means. Mm-hmm. And so we've just really helped them kind of look through a number of different things. It could be developing a hobby or developing a skill. It's a lot about volunteer work, helping others, mentoring, teaching, so many different things that we do in pillar number 2. So that's what pillar number 2 is all about. Pillar number 3, I say this a number of times in the workshop, could be maybe the most important.
Okay.
And that is all about relationships.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Because so many relationships change when they're making that transition.
Sure.
So all those people they knew.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Those workmates need to be replaced with new playmates.
That's right.
And so developing new social connections, looking at presently what social connections do they have, how can they improve the quality of those relationships, and maybe even the quantity of some of those relationships too as they move into the second half of life. So pillar 3 is all about that. Pillar 4 is all about leaving a legacy. Looking at, here's where I'm at today. I don't know how long I'm going to live on this earth. None of us know that, right? But it's really saying about what can I do today to leave a legacy? Rather than waiting to the end of my life and maybe looking back and having regrets and not being able to have control over some of those things, what can I do today? Whether it's my time, whether it's financial, planning, getting rid of things, whatever, decluttering, downsizing. We look at a lot of different topics within pillar number 4. Yeah. So those are some of the things that we really try to help people with and the topics. And then, like I mentioned previously, there's a plan, at the end.
That last one, Scott, you remind me that leave a legacy part, from the financial side.
Yes.
Leaving a legacy is often expressed in estate planning documents.
Yeah.
I want my wealth to go here, and this stuff to go to this particular heir along the way. But in your context, in the non-financial realm, it's being intentional with connecting to the next generation.
Yeah.
It's paying it forward. As an example, it's being intentional with having the life lessons that you have, sharing them with those following behind so that they don't repeat the same mistakes you have. So that leaving a legacy, why this matters is just super crucial, super important for clients to latch on to.
Yeah, we have 2 goals in that pillar. One is to finish the race well. That's goal number 1. And a lot of times people kind of get to the second half of their life and they just kind of coast. They kind of drift to what's easy and what's comfortable. And that's not going to lead to a meaningful and purposeful life. But then the second part of it is just really what you mentioned too. It's about helping others. It's about helping those that are coming behind us. So yeah, very much the case.
Yeah, and that reminds me, oftentimes in our career, we're pretty self-absorbed. I hate to say, we're saving for our own retirement. We're, climbing the corporate ladder for our own social status. And
now it's my time.
Now it's my time.
That's right. Right.
But as we age and as we get older, and kind of those financial things don't become near as important as those relational things, as those legacy things that we can, as our leaving legacy to our grandkids and our families, those memories and those times away, just feel much more important. So,
Yep.
So Scott, I can't help but think, if I had a client that walked in the door today, scheduled with me, and they're like, "Hey, this happened. I had an unexpected retirement. I was either let go or my department was eliminated, and I just need to meet. What are a couple of tips? What are a couple of strategies that I can tell my client to do to execute?"
Yeah, I think one is letting go of the past. It's just being compassionate about where they're at, really hearing their story, being a good listener, and just sitting down and really kind of talking about that, but really helping them to realize that doesn't need to define them. So it's kind of letting go of that, helping them to see, here's where you're at today. Let's deal with the present and let's look into the future.
There you go.
So that's such an important thing. And then we've mentioned this already, just taking a halftime. Let's just pause for a little bit.
Sure.
Let's not be driven by our feelings and there is
fear.
Fear, right?
Don't
Exactly,
be driven by
right.
fear.
Yes, that's a big one. And so again, it's just let's think about where we're at today. Take that halftime, just like the analogy of the football game, and then let's peer into the future. And I think thirdly, I would say, look at all the opportunities.
They're endless.
Yeah, they really are. There's so much out there for people to get involved in. To be more others-oriented, to really go from that self-focus, like what you just talked about, being less me-focused and being more others-oriented. That's really the key to purpose. And so really kind of helping them to kind of think about all the different opportunities that are out there. And then just to initiate that plan, really to create action steps, again, just little things, little 2-degree differences can make a huge difference 5 to 10 years down the road. Yeah. And so helping them to take those action steps, keeping them accountable to that, I think would be just some really quick tips and advice that I would have.
For sure. And I think ultimately, Scott, they can take a workshop.
Yeah, right. Yes. Right.
Our firm has been blessed with my story that has led to this refocus coaching department.
Yep.
Based on what happened to my mom. If you didn't hear that story, listen to the prior episode, and we'll link that in the show notes. But Scott conducts workshops where he takes a client. So if a client walked through the door today and this happened, I would put them in one of your workshops where you work through this content, and at the end of it, they have a retirement summary plan, and they're hopeful and optimistic about their future. Yep. They can't wait to make their future bigger than their past.
Yep.
But short of that, by the way, that workshop is available for non-clients
as well, too, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
a lot
if
of
you're
times
listening, you're like, I'm not a client of Hixon Zuercher. That's okay.
That's all right.
We care about you. We care about this topic so much that we make it available for clients and non-clients. But short of that, talk to family, friends, peers, a pastor, a loved one, a counselor. We do know that this is a life disruptor, can cause a lot of mental challenges.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you're below the line about it and possibly going into anxiety or depression, we really want you to get out. So get help. We know that you have family, friends, and loved ones that care about you, and so please share this thing that happened to you, and maybe they can help you rise back above the line. So.
Yeah, I want to just emphasize what you just said there that just really struck a note with me is I think the tendency for a lot of people when they're in these situations is they have a tendency to isolate themselves.
Oh, yeah.
They just isolate. They're embarrassed and they isolate themselves. They're not talking to anybody. And so you just mentioned about surrounding your people with people that can help you.
That's right.
And that's so important. Mm-hmm. I just can't emphasize that more with our listeners, how important it is that you have a good group of people around you, friendships, maybe people even who are older than you that are speaking into your life. That is so critical.
For sure.
So, it really is.
And we're happy to be a part of that conversation. If you'd like to engage in that conversation, if this episode resonates with you and you'd like to engage in a conversation, please let us know. In the meantime, we are so glad that you've joined us for this bonus episode of Halftime Huddle.
Yes.
If you found value in our conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the Wealth Mindset Show on whatever platform you're on so you never miss an episode. Visit us at thewealthmindsetshow.com for more resources. And if you're ready to schedule a workshop or a private coaching with Scott, head on over to hzcapital.com/coaching, and you can connect with Scott there. We also invite you to follow us on social media to stay connected. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for joining us at the Wealth Mindset Show, where we tackle the complexities of finance and life planning to help you align your wealth with your values. We hope today's conversation provided value and clarity as you navigate your financial journey. Your hosts work for Hixon Zuercher Capital Management, and all opinions expressed by them or any podcast guest are solely their own and do not reflect the opinions of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Hixon Zuercher Capital Management may maintain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast. There is no guarantee that statements, opinions, or forecasts provided herein will prove to be correct. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Indices are not available for direct investment, and any investor attempting to mimic index performance would incur fees and expenses that could reduce returns. Securities investing involves risks, including the potential loss of principal, and there is no assurance that any investment plan or strategy will be successful.